Hey everybody, good morning. It's Jennifer. Today is Monday, June 10th of 2019. And it's interesting this morning when I got ready to start doing the reading for today. Um, I am going to be using the Archangel Michael deck, and I was immediately pulled to that one. And it's a couple different things that are coming up with it that are really interesting. Is one, remembering that the quote unquote battle on earth is actually a spiritual battle, right? So knowing that, again, we're in that duality. We're on earth, we're here in contrast. We know that there's spiritual warfare is a real thing. And again, it's not to be afraid of it, it's just to know about it, right? Just to be aware of it. Because once we have the awareness, then we don't have to allow any of the darkness to get, to interfere. And I think when you're aware of it, you notice it faster. And so you're able to rebuke it faster, if that makes sense. So again, it's not about being afraid of it. It's just knowing that it's a thing that we deal with on this planet, right? So one of the easiest things that I can think of that's coming to my mind right now is, like, if you're in a really good mood and then all of a sudden you go somewhere, you whatever, and you're instantly just irritated, chances are there's another entity kind of poking and prodding at your energy, making you irritated. So in that moment, just put up the bubble, right? Bubble up your energy and give yourself a little, a little protection bubble, right? So, which brings us to the spiritual armor, which is really interesting because, again, this morning, Archangel Michael is who I feel like is definitely was at the forefront this morning of who I wanted to work with in the deck of cards I wanted to use. And I've been feeling like the last, probably for a couple weeks, I felt like it was important to start talking about entities again and just the putting on your armor. So it's funny because I was going to do a video or an audio on spiritual armor, and then I noticed that Amanda Ellis did one, which is actually really good because that's confirmation that it is time to do that. So just on a quick note, putting on the armor of God is just, it's just like the bubble exercise that I do. So any of the energy meditations that I have already on YouTube, you can use those. Basically, all you're doing is praying and asking for divine light to come in, wash through you all the way through your feet, ground yourself, connect to the earth, and allow that energy to then blend with that heaven energy, and then create a bubble around yourself so that you're protected from above and below, right? So it's just putting yourself in that protective space. So that's just kind of a short, quick way to talk about it and to give you the idea of it. But basically just intentionally putting up your bubble of energy around you. You can ask the angels to come in and ask an angel to wrap their wings around you to give you protective space, like whatever makes sense for you. If you want to go through the scripture and actually go through putting on the armor of God, you can do that as well. So that being said, it makes sense that we're talking with Archangel Michael today. Another thing that's coming up that when I was first tuning into this and setting the intention for this reading today is Archangel Michael was reminding me that sometimes the battle is within ourselves. So not only, like, where are you battling yourself? So that would be something that I would say is a really good thing to maybe focus on for this week is, and the battle within ourselves is usually the limiting belief. Or like if you think back to like the old cartoons where there was like Tom and Jerry, and you know how there would be like an angel on one side and a devil on the other. It's like that internal battle of, oh, I really want to believe in prosperity and abundance and believe that I can have it, but then the devil says, no, you can't have that. You know what I mean? And I'm kind of saying that in that cartoon sense of like the angel and the devil on your shoulder, because that totally makes sense of like when you're battling within yourself, and prosperity and abundance keeps coming up for some reason for me, like to talk about. And I'm sorry, I feel like I'm stumbling over my words because I feel like they're giving me so much information at once. I'm like, wait a minute, slow down. I can only talk so fast. So it's definitely interesting energy right now. It's really like, I feel like the energy is almost buzzing. Like it's almost overwhelming. Like I've never been somebody that's like ADD, but I almost feel that way. Like I feel like there's just so much going on and I'm feeling like I'm in a million different directions at once kind of thing. So, that being said, let's just take a minute and just breathe. Okay, so just take a deep breath in and then just blow it out. We'll do a couple breaths like that. I'm going to ask Archangel Michael to be very specific and clear for us right now and to really help us see where we're battling within ourselves. Because again, we're being told for the last little bit here, like, I don't know, the last few months especially, but I feel like we're really moving into that new world, right? So things are going to manifest a lot faster. And so we want to be clear within ourselves, because if we have that battle going on within ourselves, then we can't fully step into abundance if there's a part of us or a limiting belief that's still holding us in that, well, maybe you can't, right? So let's get really clear and ask for that to be shown so that we can clear that out. Because in truth, we know that in divine spiritual truth, there is abundance for everyone, right? So, and then again, it's defining what that means for you, because abundance for one person may not be the same thing of what abundance is to somebody else. Like, because it depends on your needs and your wants and the way you want to live and all of those things, right? So getting clear on what you want, getting clear on how you want it to manifest, and then letting go of it, letting the universe bring it to you and whatever's in your best interest. And just praying like for abundance. But the one thing that I will say is also not limiting it. So always say this or something better, because our guides and angels want what's best for us. And maybe we may be limiting ourselves to only getting this, when in reality, God would rather bless us with even more, right? So again, I really feel like with Archangel Michael here, it's about putting on the armor. And I keep hearing battling within. So I think when we can get more clear on what we're battling in within ourselves, it clears up the vibrational resonance for the planet. Okay, yeah, that felt really big. So there's something to do with the more we heal within, the more it clears the vibration for the collective. Oh, okay, this is really good. What I'm hearing now is like, some of the limiting beliefs may not be yours. Some of the limiting beliefs may just be collective. Like, okay, so one of the big ones that I feel is totally like a collective mentality, like something we've all been taught, is you've got to work hard for money, and you have to go, like, one of the big things I can remember is like it was always like you had to go to school, and then you had to go to college, and you had to do all of these things in order to be able to make money, right? So, and I don't feel like that's an individual personal belief. I feel like that's a full on just collective, like that's what everybody kind of on the planet somehow resonates with that. So the more of us that can clear up that vibration within ourselves and more fully align with divine abundance, then the more that actually helps clear for the collective. Okay, that was interesting. That wasn't what I was expecting to come out today, but that's what I'm hearing. So that's why we need to focus on the battle within. That's why I keep hearing the battle within. So that's where we need to focus, really, for this week. Sorry, I had to take a drink of my coffee. Yeah, I'm really hearing that. Like, it's about, and they're bringing me back to that meditation that I did at the end of May, talking about that we're moving into a new world, like a new life, a new whatever. And I don't know why I'm seeing like from June to September is like clean. They're saying clean house. Like from June to September is the time for us to look within, clear up like whatever vibrations within ourselves, so that we can fully like be into that new energy from like October, November, December. So that, and then when we step into 2020, it'll be like a whole new thing. So, okay. So I've actually pulled 3 different cards. I'm not going to pull a theme card just because the theme is the battle within our own limiting beliefs, putting on the spiritual armor. and the reason that that's important is because you want to know, is this really my belief, or is it outside of me, right? So is this my belief? So that you can know that, first of all, again, like I said, the collective, it could be an entity that's trying to bother you, or, has the energy around you or whatever. So just being sure of, is this mine within to clear up, or is this outside energy? And if it's collective, what's my part? Okay. So, all right. So I've got 3 different cards. So card 1, 2, and 3. And I immediately am hearing you can either pick one, or you can like resonate with all 3 of them. So the first card is saying your home is protected by angels. So this is reminding us that there's no fear. Like, really, that's what I'm feeling is Archangel Michael is saying, in spiritual truth, everything is safe and you're protected and everything's fine. So it's just knowing that we've got to let go of fear. Like that's a huge thing. So your home is protected by angels. The prayer that comes with it is, Archangel Michael, thank you for watching over my home and its inhabitants. I ask that you post guardian angels at each window and door, ensuring its security. Thank you for guiding my finances so that I can easily afford to pay my rent, mortgage, or taxes. Okay, so just like we can put the bubble around us, we can actually do the same thing with our house. So we can actually cleanse our space, our home, and then put the bubble of divine light around that for protection. So if you feel like you want to, sage your house, spray essential oils, whatever it is, do a blessing, do a prayer and say, okay, I ask for anything that's negative or lower vibration to be removed and cleared from my house. I ask for it to be completely infused in divine healing light, in divine love, compassion, joy, happiness, peace. And then fill up your house with that divine light, and then again, bubble the house. So it's just setting up that divine protection. And that's pretty self-explanatory. So card 2 is you and your loved ones are safe. So again, it's coming back to, in spiritual truth, we're all safe. So dear God and Archangel Michael, thank you for watching over me and my loved ones. Please help me feel secure and at peace. Fill me with faith so that I may focus on my priorities and enjoy a healthful, happy life. So again, I think this is saying, put up your bubble, know that in divine truth, you're safe. And then it says, so that you can focus on a healthy, happy life, right? So if a healthy, happy life is your goal, what would that look like? What fears need to be addressed? What is the internal battle within yourself about those fears, right? Which, when there's internal battle, it's just looking for truth. So if you have a limiting belief that that's what's in your vibration, there's nothing wrong with it, right? It's just bringing awareness to it. And the one thing that I do want to say is, if anything comes up this week, don't look at it as like, oh, great, I have that. Be like, oh, good, this is being shown to me so that I can now deal with it, clear it, figure out why it's there. Like, sometimes you can just say, oh, well, that's a limiting belief. I can just let go of that. I don't need that anymore. And it can be that easy, right? But if you feel like, I wonder why that's there, or if I need to look at that, what is the lesson I need to learn from that? And then how can I shift it? Right. So this comes into the battle within. So just again, do that, do the prayer, ask them to come in. Healing meditations are great. Like I said, the energy work, most of my audios that I have that are the healing and energy meditations are always infused with angelic presence, because I always invite Jesus and the angels to come in and help me do the meditation. So the healing is already in the meditation. If you just allow it to, if you do the meditation and allow it to come in. The third card is focus upon divine and perfect health. So this one says, the prayer is, God and Archangel Michael, thank you for continuously reminding me to focus upon perfect health and for guiding my actions so that they support my well-being. So again, what's interesting with this is looking at what are you believing about your health, right? Because in divine spiritual truth, we know that healing can happen. A couple things are coming up with this. Sometimes on the planet, it's just because we're on the planet. Like there's viruses, there's bacteria, there's all those things. So sometimes we just get sick. Like I mean, sometimes it's not really a lesson. It's just, okay, you're on a physical planet, you just got sick. Like give yourself what you need to get better, right? Do you need to go to the doctor? Do you need to, drink peppermint tea? Like, I don't know, whatever it needs for you to support your physical body to get healthy. Okay. If there's a lesson in it, ask yourself, is there a lesson? Like, am I being shown to slow down? Am I being shown that maybe my priorities are out of kilter? Because sometimes it's like, hello, you've been running yourself ragged, literally, and you make yourself sick because you're not taking care of yourself. So what could you be doing daily to make yourself healthy? And then again, what are the beliefs that you have? Like, do you have a belief that, what are your limiting beliefs around health, right? Because sometimes there's tricky ones that come up, and maybe somewhere you've taken on the belief that, well, this is just I just have to be sick, right? Like sometimes that's what it is you're just like, oh, I'm just going to suck it up. This is just something I have to deal with. Well, what if you don't have to? Like, what if, yeah, you have like, an autoimmune disorder or whatever, but what if by adjusting the way you feel about food helps you feel more healthy because you eat more healthy? You know what I mean? Like, so look again, dig in a little deeper on what's the battle within where you're not supporting yourself. Are you refusing? Like, are you sick and you're refusing to be sick? Because again, that's resistance, right? So instead of pushing through, maybe ask yourself, how do I care for myself better? How do I give myself what I need? How can I focus upon divine and perfect health? Maybe knowing that in this lifetime, the perfect health is being healthy with emotions and feelings and the way you treat whatever it is that you have. That seems kind of confusing when you're saying focus on divine and perfect health, but in reality and divine truth, it's fine. Do you know what I mean? So that one's a little bit tricky, but it's how can I still be doing what I need to do to be healthy, even if whatever, right? So look at it and say, is it a limiting belief? Is it a physical thing I'm dealing with? And if it is just a physical thing I'm dealing with, how do I deal with this in a healthy way? How can I support my well-being, right? It's like okay, so for example, if you get a tooth taken out, you know that there might be stitches or whatever. You can't go eat chips right 5 minutes after. You've got to give yourself the time to let that heal before you go have tortilla chips. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, so that would be in your well-being. That would be one of those things that this is a physical thing. I have a stitch in my tooth. What do I need to do to support my well-being in this situation? That seems a little bit more clear to me, seeing that they just gave me that analogy of like having a tooth taken out and having a stitch there and knowing that you can't eat those things for a few days. That's in your best interest and in support of your well-being to not eat chips until that's healed. Makes sense? So, okay, so that's kind of the big thing right now. Again, I'm hearing the battle within. So again, this is about putting on the spiritual armor, knowing, is this mine? Is this something that is your belief, is your circumstances, your whatever? Or is this a collective energy? And if it's collective, is there some part of you that resonates with that to where you clear up the vibration? Because I feel like the more of us that heal on this level, the more we're going to affect everyone on a collective level. So how can what I'm hearing is, how can I make this personal, but knowing that it's actually spiritual? So it's like it's like I'm being shown that everything works together, and like, so you're in this experience. So how can you know that in spirit and in divine truth, everything is fine, but also still be like, okay, but I'm in this experience. So now what's my part? How can I heal myself? How can I add abundance to the collective? How can I look at my own limiting beliefs so that I can clear them to allow myself abundance? Because the more that we all resonate with that level, the more people are going to be brought into that vibration as well. So, okay, guys, this is a big message today. It feels really hopeful. Don't be afraid to look within. Don't be afraid of doing the work within. Um, and just ask for Jesus and the angels to help us. Know that in divine truth, God is like, okay, I keep being reminded of the scripture of like the birds of the air don't have to worry, right? Like, so we're really being called to step into that, of knowing that we don't have to worry, and that the more we trust and that the more we do our part, right? Because it's not like we can just sit back and quit our job and just expect for money to be dropped in our lap. That doesn't have any energy with it that creates. So what is it that you can do that you can help be in that energy and be in that flow? Practicing gratitude, I feel like, is really big. So being in a space of gratitude, maybe working on a gratitude journal. The more you can focus on what you're happy for and what you're grateful for and what you're thankful for and what you enjoy, the more of those things come into your experience. So yeah, so that's actually really, really good, you guys. It feels really good. I love that Archangel Michael is the one that was so prominent this morning. Remember that Archangel Michael will help you cut cords as well. So if you're really attached to a belief, ask for him to come in and help you clear that belief, right? So again, I'll link one of the healing meditations that I have. I think the clearing your energy one is going to be a good one. Or the golden Christ light, that one's a really good one too. So use those meditations this week if you feel like you need a little extra support in whatever card resonated, or if you're kind of looking at an overall thing. Because if we look at the cards together now, I'm like, this is totally like, it encompasses our whole life, right? It's our home, us and our loved ones, and our health and our well-being. So it's like all of that combined. And it even talks about our finances. Thank you for guiding my finances. So this is really like a whole reading in all aspects. But if you were called to one card over the other, then that's where you should focus this week. So I hope you guys are having a great day. Happy Monday, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye.